Hello everyone, today is December 6th, 2025. It's time for the guild news and MMO news. So first of all, yes, I am officially back on PAX Day as of December 3rd. I had been gone from PAX Day since January of this year because for some reason the game just glitched on me and it wouldn't let me log in. And I'm not sure why that happened and I'm not sure why it works now, but hey, I won't complain. I am now back in the clan and I am going to be working on the glass outpost. But like with everything I do in PAX Day, I pretty much want to build it myself without asking for help from the clan members if I don't have to. So that will be coming up within probably the next few weeks that we'll have my glass outpost up and running. So next we're going to talk about our guild on Werewoods Meet, as of yesterday, has officially hit level 4. And that's the kind of progress I like to see. The guild leveling up. There's no deadline for how fast the guild levels. As long as we're making progress, then it's not too slow. That's good enough for me. Alright, so next we're going to talk about the ESO news. This is the only article I think I want to talk about. The Developer Deep Dive ESO's Class Identity Refresh. It was released on December 2nd, 2025. So that was 4 days ago. So read a deep dive letter from ZeniMax Online Studios combat team as they share their core philosophies, goals, and plannings surrounding the future of ESO's classes. Earlier this fall, we asked for your feedback on ESO's classes, including your pain points and overall impressions on class identity. As part of our efforts to address long-standing player feedback and improve the overall look, feel, and balance of combat, we are working on a long-term project to revitalize ESO's classes. To help the community understand the scope and context for these changes, we aim to be transparent about our goals concerning ESO's class identities. You can read more about our design philosophy, vision for ESO's classes, goals, identity framework, and rollout for the related changes below. Okay. As we design philosophy concepts, as we discuss how our vision translates into our goals, it's useful to understand our design philosophy and a few key concepts that guide it. What does class identity mean to us? For us, class identity is what makes a class unique and different from other classes. This covers everything from a part of who they are, what they can do, how they look, what they excel at, and what they don't excel at. When we look at class identity, we use two core pillars to support the experience: source of power and power fantasy. What do we mean by source of power? When we talk about the source of power for a class, we are referring to what the lore-relevant origins of a class's power is and what might differentiate them from a normal citizen of Tamriel. Questions such as these came up. What caused this person to become a Dragonite, Arcanist, Sorcerer? What are their motivations? Where do they get their power from? The answer to these questions to help inform the way their abilities are developed as an extension of their source of power. What do we mean by power fantasy? Power fantasy takes the source of the power a step further and influences how a character receives and is then able to use it, like area of effect, damage over time, direct damage, etc. By taking their source of power and putting it into a delivery mechanism, we aim to create the sensation of what it would feel like to be that class. Different power sources shape distinct playstyles. For example, Nightblades rely on cunning and shadow to stay elusive in battle, striking while the moment is right, while Templars draw on divine energy and for more zealous and direct combat. I've played Nightblade and Templar, and I can vouch that both of those actually are true. These differences help set ESO's classes apart from one another in terms of their identity. It's why some classes have specific power delivery mechanisms that others do not, thus contributing to a more distinct playstyle and establishing a stronger class identity mix. Adapting around player experiences. While it's always important to have a class's visions and goals in mind, it's just as important to ensure that they hold up after the community adapts to new tools and features. As new systems and improvements are introduced, development becomes an ongoing process that requires continual refining. For example, one of the biggest pieces of community feedback that we're looking into is how subclassing interacts with class identity and game balance. Subclassing at its core directly competes with our established version of class identity and instead puts that agency into your hands, giving you the ability to create anything you want. While this is a deeply important part of the feature for us, it also currently comes with some drawbacks for balance. The community constantly adapts to new skills and systems. As it stands, subclassing is objectively stronger than pure classing by a large margin for several reasons. This is mostly caused by the vast differences in individual skill line designs. ESO was not built from launch with subclassing in mind, and the system highlighted issues with the current class skill line design that were not previously a factor but are untenable going forward. To support the overall health of the game and class system, we need to respond and adapt to how the game has changed based on how players are using the subclassing feature. With this in-game data and player feedback and available development resource in play, we have a clearer picture of the scope of changes that need to be made. These insights have led us to re-examine our class's identities, how they're expressed and designed from individual abilities and passives, where those abilities are sourced, and how they all come together to create a cohesive class and identity. One overarching pattern you'll see as we move toward improving this experience is reorganizing class skill lines, adding in more benefits for sticking with the core skill lines of your class, and decentralizing role-specific power so that a single skill line won't have every tool you need to achieve your goals. Our aim isn't necessarily to nerf, though. While in some instances nerfs may be necessary, we'll be using values and specific effects to create more powerful or punchy abilities and passives, but with greater nuances that prevent subclassing from completely dominating the meta. What we aim to achieve is twofold. For those who prefer to play a pure class, you have a strong and satisfying class identity and the power you need to achieve your goals. For those who wish to dive into subclassing, you should feel the freedom to forge your own identity or even forego identity for the sake of specialized powers, but with less of a difference in power compared to the pure class options. Personal opinion, I've been a Dragon Knight, basically this whole time. I'm probably just going to go ahead and stick with that. Okay. Long-term vision. ESO has evolved tremendously over the last decade, and as new systems and classes have been introduced, the bars for the play experience and our design philosophy have been raised. As part of the project, we have established a holistic long-term plan for how we aim to modernize ESO's classes and to bring them more in line with one another. It extends beyond addressing identity, balance, or look and feel in isolation, and it aims to address multiple class issues. While many of the items in the list below have always been what we strive to accomplish and that isn't changing, we will be spending more time strengthening ESO's classes and focusing on these guiding principles. Our long-term vision is every class will be viable in any role. To us, viability means players can reach their goals with the choices offered. This does not necessarily mean equally optimal, but always providing multiple choices for you. We want each class to feel cohesive and true to its power fantasy, with abilities, animations, and audio effects that reinforce its core identity. This means refreshing and modernizing abilities so they look and feel as impactful as those of more recently introduced classes like the Arcanist. We're committed to evolving our design philosophies by using player feedback and in-game data to help guide class updates. As we address balance concerns and update class mechanics, our goal is to ensure that every class feels good to play, both mechanically and thematically, while keeping the unique flavor that sets each apart. Goals. For this refresh of ESO's classes, our primary goals that support the long-term visions we laid out are strengthen the unique identities of each class, making them feel fun and rewarding as well as thematically unique and engaging to play. Improve the balance between pure classing and subclassing so both paths have their place in the game. Make each class's skill line more varied and distinct for what they offer a role, so that each skill line holds something valuable regardless of what you play. Use both in-game data and player feedback to help inform our decisions, ensuring changes reflect player experiences and preferences. Address power outliers and abilities and skill lines, and look at balance concerns as we progress through each of the classes, prioritizing mathematical and functional changes before visual and audio updates. Identity. Below, we lay out the unique high-level identities we envision for each of these classes and how that would be translated into the gameplay experience. This might be what you expect to see on a character creation screen. All right. Arcanist. Source of power. Seekers of truth and knowledge, Arcanists wield a form of runic magic so complex it requires a pact with Hermaeus Mora. Power fantasy. Their abilities shape fate by building and spending power and unleashing potent spells. Arcanists unleash bursts of power in cycles, excelling at mid and long-range tactical combat. Necromancer. Source of power. Masters of life and death, necromancers use corpses as resources by unearthing undead minions and tethering themselves to the battlefield. Power fantasy. Necromancers gain power with each corpse they command use enfeebling effects, and control the undead to do their bidding. Templar, source of power. Holy warriors who channel the power of the sun and Aedric entities. Templars use light as both a weapon and a shield, and they create sanctuaries. Power fantasy. Using the blinding power of light, Templars can keep pressure at a distance, but are truly a force when in melee range. Dragon Knight. Source of power. Dragon-powered warriors who wield flame and fury with erupted power, shielding their allies and themselves with earthen forces. Yep. Power fantasy. Conquerors that dominate the front lines and excel at controlling the battlefield, often by building power over time. Yeah. Okay. Warden, source of power. Protectors of nature and the cycles of Nirn. Wardens use the seasons to adapt and preserve balance. Power fantasy. As with the changing seasons, the Warden's adaptability allows them to quickly react to what the situation demands. This flexibility gives them freedom to fight and flourish on the battlefield. Sorcerer, source of power. As master strategists, sorcerers call upon Daedric pacts and dark magic as the source of their power. Power fantasy. Highly strategic and mobile, sorcerers focus on spell synergy and the opportunistic use of forbidden powers to achieve their goals, excelling at combining abilities for maximum effect. Nightblade, source of power. Nightblades use Shadow's subterfuge. This rogue type steals power from foes to stay alive and support allies. Power fantasy. Preferring indirect combat and evasion, Nightblades often rely on mobility and stealth to survive at a distance and strike at the perfect moment with a finishing blow. In the interest of fostering communication, transparency, and building trust, we want to keep you informed as these updates progress. With this in mind, we are in the early stages of the process, and the class information outlined above is still subject to change and further refinement as we work through addressing each class. Rollout. This is a major comprehensive initiative that will span several updates. We are prioritizing classes that require the most modernization and balance work first. For some classes, this will be an exercise in refinement. For others, it will mean a more thorough reconfiguring, and for some classes, it may be a mix of both. As we get closer to beginning work for each class, we'll go into deeper detail with regular updates about the upcoming changes. Each class will be addressed one at a time and receive impactful mechanical and balance changes in addition to any needed updates to visuals and audio. We're starting with the Dragon Knight class as the anchor, given its foundational role and the extent of changes needed. These class-by-class updates will run alongside ongoing support for the game, and timelines may be shifted as needed. The current order is subject to change based on ongoing needs. Dragon Knight, Warden, Sorcerer, Templar, Nightblade, Necromancer, and Arcanist. We'll also continue working on regular bug fixing and performance updates as normal. Our goal is to keep the relative level of power players have now, and we will work to maintain that within reason moving forward. While we won't focus on large balance changes outside of ability line refreshes and subclassing balance, we'll continue to monitor feedback and adjust values for balance on other aspects of gameplay as needed. We're currently looking into ways to alleviate some of the long-standing community concerns with both pure classing and subclassing in the short term, as well as underlying broader issues and feedback. Example changes. A great way to better understand what we've discussed is through examples. As mentioned above, we'll be starting with Dragon Knight, which is already underway internally with high-level adjustments to abilities, visuals, and animations. The Dragon Knight class refresh is underway. Below, we'll cover some of the larger adjustments broken out as the refinements versus reconfigurations we mentioned above to give some insight into the design process and how it fits into our vision. Refinement. Dragon Knights are attrition warriors. There will be many adjustments that help reforge this experience, including unique damage over time parameters like shorter durations, higher damage per tick, and rampaging effects that let them build their power over the course of a fight. Another area this is improved is with the new Avalanche passive in Earthen Heart, which allows you to slowly build up momentum with a stacking damage bonus while in combat that can be lost if you fail to keep up the Okay, hold on. Personally, I see a bit of a flaw with that already. See, Avalanche passive in Earthen Heart. Now, personally, when I think of an avalanche, I think of snow. And when I think of snow, I think of the Warden, not the Dragon Knight. Now, as someone who's played a Dragon Knight since basically the last beta before release, I'll tell y'all right now, I'll tell y'all that When I play the Dragon Knight, I immediately think of Earth, Fire, and Draconic powers. Avalanche, not really. So that name is probably going to need a little work. Don't call it out. It worked fine for the Warden. I've played Warden. I've actually played every class except Arcanist. But yeah, Avalanche would be a good name for Warden, not Dragon Knight. Okay. Anyways, reconfiguring. Dragon Knight's flames are ravenous and demand fuel. Dragon Knights are designed to require careful resource management, creating the feeling that their flame always needs fuel. This also helps balance the class, preventing them from dominating long battles simply by outlasting their opponents. While we still believe in this design philosophy, we've also tried to build more satisfying methods of solving those problems inside their class kit, like reworked Inhale, which has moved to Ardent Flame and now briefly restores a percent of your missing resources over time before unleashing its classic explosion. Ongoing planning. Classes are a core aspect of the game, and we are committed to seeing this effort through. We are excited and energized about this upcoming work and can't wait to show you more as it develops. Our goal is to keep the community regularly informed on our efforts as they progress. Some updates will have more information than others, and we will share more details about each of the classes and their improvements as they come into focus more clearly. We know many of you have other questions about what this means for things like subclassing, pure classing, hybridization, overall balance, other combat-related skills, etc., and we will do our best to share what we can as it is firmed up. As part of this, we will host an ESO Live on Thursday, December 4th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to answer some community questions and we'll follow up with FAQ documentation. We'll have more time to share with you all early in the new year about some of these improvements and more, so stay tuned. That's all for ESO news. Now we're going to move on to PAX Day. By the way, remember, all the links to all these articles will be in the description of this video. Hello, Paxians. We know many of you want information about Verse 5 on the upcoming feudal features, so we'd like to share more details and outline what's coming up. As we've discussed before, we have plans for expanding PAX Day's PvP gameplay in new directions. The underlying goal for the game hasn't changed. We're making a social sandbox MMO with a player-driven economy, and we've always seen PvP as an integral part of the game. Our previous update reworked Leonese, making it larger in terms of size and design. We also added the enchantment resource to give players more reasons to go there. Now it's time to add the ability for players to claim land and build. Before jumping into the details, here's a summary of what's coming. We're introducing a new resource, Mournwood, which you can harvest from new Mournal trees that only appear in Leonese. Mournal trees are very rare and will only appear in the world in the evening during regional peak game hours. You will see the spot where a tree is about to appear in the game map of Leonese a set amount of time before it spawns. Mournal trees are very tough and have a ton of health. Fully harvesting one will likely take the sustained effort of many players. However, Mournwood is given in stages a single player can harvest it, even if fully chopping down the tree would take much longer. Leonese will gain 12 new feudal shrines that can be claimed by clan elders and the aldermen. Claiming a feudal shrine site costs both gold and Mournwood. The sites have a Mournwood upkeep cost with storage for up to a week's worth of upkeep. Claiming a feudal shrine allows you to place 3 plots at a site, which can be upgraded to host up to 22 plots. You can set a feudal shrine your clan has claimed as your Petra May home point, and you can use a spell that costs 20 grace to fast travel to it. If you die near a feudal shrine your clan has claimed, you can choose to respawn there. As ever, your feedback on this update is vital and will help us shape PAX Day going forward. Okay, Mournwood. A new type of tree, Mournals, will start spawning in Leonese after the update. Spawn locations are revealed ahead of time on the map, but a Mournal tree will only actually spawn if players are in the area. A notification will be broadcast in Leonese to all players in the zone when a tree appears. This means if you want to harvest Mournwood, you should make traveling to and securing the spawn point a priority. Mournal trees will appear at regular intervals between specific times depending on the day. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Saturday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. NA shards are set to Mountain Time, UTC 7. EU shards, including Arcadia, are set to CET, UTC +1. And Southeast Asia shards are set to SGT UTC plus 8. We've set these to maximize prime gaming times in each region. PvP zone, PvP zone. Mortal trees come in 3 sizes, which affect how much you can harvest from a tree and how long it will take to chop one down. Trees are harvested in stages, with the players who make the final hit at each stage getting the resources from that stage. Mortal trees are tough to chop. It's wise to come fully buffed with a good quality axe capable of chopping a hardness 3 tree. Taking a tree down alone will take a very long time. Fully chopping down a tree is more likely with a clan. As a side note, switching between a tool and the previous weapon you wielded no longer incurs a cooldown, so switching to your primary weapon to defend yourself will now enable you to fight instantly. Boardwood gathered from mortals is an inventory item that can be stolen from your corpse if you die in Lyonese. Feudal shrines. Each of the 4 provinces surrounding the central Lyonese province will have 3 feudal shrines. A clan elder or alderman can claim a shrine at the cost of 5,000 gold and 200 mornwood. After claiming a feudal shrine, you have 24 hours to load more mornwood into the fire at the center of the shrine to retain control. The fire consumes 25 mornwood each day, and you can only load up to 7 days' worth into the fire in advance. The deposits are final and cannot be withdrawn. When claimed, a shrine allows a total of 3 plots to be placed on a perimeter around it. You can upgrade a shrine, and once fully upgraded, you can place up to 22 plots in the area. The upkeep for the shrine does not increase with upgrades. Anyone in the controlling clan can place a regular plot using one of their plot tokens next to the shrine, so it's up to the clan to coordinate who does this. If a clan member is removed from the clan, the plots placed by this player instantly disappear from the site, and items on those plots go to the player's redeeming queue. If a clan is disbanded, shrine ownership is relinquished, and the plots disappear similarly. Avalon. 6 days remaining. Okay. Each feudal shrine has a unique name, and the Lyonese map shows the location of them all. After a shrine is claimed, the name of the controlling clan and that clan's heraldry are shown on the map. You will be able to set a shrine your clan controls as your home location for the hourly free Petra May Miracle, and you can also use a 20 grace spell to fast travel to them. If you die close to a feudal shrine your clan controls, you can choose to respawn there. Yeah, that's what they just said. Gotta be redundant in their own article. When it comes to building fortifications, doors on plots in Lyonese can only be opened by members of the clan that controls them. Door opening is not replicated across game instances if the world area is instanced at the time, so you'll not accidentally open the door to players you can't see. We will expand the permission system around doors in other areas besides Lyonese in the future. Pax Vobiscum, the mainframe team. Alright, Q&A. Why do I want to have a site in Lyonese? Lyonese is very rich in resources and features XP and gold bonuses for loot. Having a safe haven in Lyonese will be very beneficial for a clan. How can I capture a site from another clan? Currently, there is no direct way to capture a site. However, due to upkeep, your clan can make it hard for a controlling clan to keep their sites if you launch a concerted effort to capture a large portion of the daily Mornwood spawns. Future updates might include direct means to contest the sites. Can sites be shared by multiple clans? This update is the starting point for feudal gameplay, and we're looking to enable multiple clans to come together to form an alliance to hold the site together. When we discussed the alliance features earlier with the player community, there were rightful worries about how we were planning to implement these. As such, we're keen to see how the site works with this update and discuss with all of you how best to enable sharing sites between clans. Alright. In-game temporary event, celebrating Yule, and this came out just yesterday. Hello, Paxians. As the year draws to a close, Yule returns once more. Last year, you discovered a short tale in the video, but this season, something greater awaits in Gallia, a limited-time, full-scale in-game event. Starting mid-December, with the exact date to be revealed soon, the festivities will run for an entire month. During this time, you will have access to exclusive festive recipes to craft charming decorations for your cozy home, stylish wearables for your clan gatherings, and you'll even be able to trade your creations on the market if you're feeling entrepreneurial. Be sure to read all the details so you don't miss a thing. The exact event dates will be revealed closer to launch. The event will last for 1 month. After that, the ingredients and recipes will no longer be available. However, you will keep the items you crafted and they will remain tradable. All recipes will appear directly in your journal. Just search for Yule to find them easily. We're introducing 3 brand new recipes and maybe more, who knows. Yule is a magical time of year, including the especially adorable little Yule goat. We'll let you discover the rest for yourself. All these recipes will require seasonal resources. To collect these resources, you'll need to equip a dedicated amulet, the Yule Charm, which you'll need to craft once the event starts. The amulet will also be removed after the event. These recipes are designed to be easily accessible, with ingredient gathering turning into a lighthearted, festive treasure hunt. And yes, all items and ingredients can be traded and sold. Want to see more? Check out the videos by some of our content creators. Alright. We can't wait to see how you fill the realm with seasonal cheer and creativity. Pax Vibiscum, the mainframe team. Okay. So last of all, we're going to talk about where winds meet. They released a new article about account suspensions for violations. Dear Wanderers, since the official launch, Eastwind Pavilion has been actively monitoring the use of third-party assists. In addition to thoroughly validating reports, we have implemented technical measures to better detect abnormal in-game behavior. Accounts confirmed to be in violation will face strict penalties. We appreciate your understanding and support in making Jianshu a fair and just place. Violations include, but are not limited to, cheating, speed hacks, macro tools, or any other software that disrupts fair play. Punishments will be determined on a case-by-case basis. In gameplay scenarios like Arena, penalties may include removal from the leaderboard, prohibition from participating in certain game modes, and temporary or permanent account bans. We strive to ensure a fair gaming experience while protecting your in-game assets. As we work to enhance game quality, we encourage all wanderers to help us maintain a just environment. If you encounter any misconduct in-game, please report it using the in-game reporting feature. We take each case seriously and will continue to optimize the feedback system at Eastwind Pavilion. For any questions or requests, please reach out to us at our customer service email, wherewindsmeet@global.netease.com. Between November 15th and December 5th, the dev team suspended approximately 5,000 accounts for violations. Here's a list of some of the accounts. Okay, well, cheat. Speed hack. Wow, lots of speed hacks. Third-party tools. Ooh, that sucks. Third-party tools. Wow, a lot of third-party tools. Eastwind Pavilion. Wow, that's a lot. But that's all I have for this video. Have a corrosively wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.